Hey guys and gals, Auntie Diane here. You know, I was trying to figure out a topic. I have some big topics coming up. I just don't have the mental or physical energy. But I was thinking about things we see in our everyday life that are scams or could be scams. I'm just going to mention a couple of them. Here's one that really bugs me. If a store, you know, what is a scam? It's a lie or something being covered up. When a store says it's going out of business, it's a store, maybe an expensive store that you can't afford to go to. And when you see it's going out of business, you say, oh, good, I'll find some good bargains there. And you go there, and the stuff is even more expensive than you remember. Excuse me. And someone else that usually shops there will pull you aside and say, be careful. Before they were going out of business, the prices weren't even this high. And I've seen that before. They raised the price, then put it on sale, and it's still more expensive than it used to be before the going out of business sale. It just happened with a furniture store that I wanted to get some things, and no, it was more expensive. And another store with just home decor and things like that. Same kind of crap. It was a chain of stores. I mean, I guess they think people are stupid and think, oh, yeah, this is a sale, I'm going to buy it. And some places even sell the bare shelves and everything else. I mean, they're really desperate to get rid of stuff and make money. It's just a shame. Another scam that we've probably most of us have seen all of our lives are that you say a certain product you like. Maybe cereal. I'm just going to use that as an example. Oh, good. The price has not gone up, but if you look at the product, the size has gone down. So technically, the price did go up. Inflation is part of life. We lived a long time without inflation, and everybody's blaming whoever's in the White House or whatever. It's nothing to do with that. It has to do with the pandemic, I think. And we've had two presidents over the pandemic, so you can't blame either one. It's just the timing of everything and the fact that during the pandemic, everything was shut down. And when they started opening up again, it was just delivery to your car, no face to face contact. And they were desperate to get people to work in places. So they were offering a higher per hour or salary. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing things that it's like it's, in a buyer's market where the houses are cheap and a seller's market where the houses are expensive. Well, before it was an employee's market, now it's an employer's market. A lot of times I read something in Reddit or Quora, Qur, I think it's pronounced Quora, and you see a lot of employers treating their employees like crap. Which brings me to another type of scam. Uh, and this has happened to me in my life before I got to be old. And, you go to an interview, and the interviewer really talks up the company like it's the greatest thing in the world. And you start working here, you can write your ticket, and blah, 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 blah. And it turns out to be bullcrap. You know, what they say you'll be hired at, or even, what the job advertises is not true. You can make as high as so and so, okay, some number. When you get there, they'll say, well, no, only people that have years of experience make that. You say, I have years of experience. Yeah, yeah, but these are people who, even higher. Oh, what would you start me at? Some low ass number. Like, no, thank you. Another scam is people put their resumes and stuff online now. The day of reading the newspaper and calling a place is not done anymore, at least not in America and probably other modern countries. You can put your resume out there on one of those job sites, and you'll get calls or emails or something from companies, recruiters, and they're not really recruiters. They're MLM companies with opportunities. Don't fall for that crap. In fact, if it were me, if I could go in a time machine and go back, I would say no MLM companies, please. They'll say, we're not MLMs, we're just an opportunity. Do I have to pay to work there? Well, you'll buy your share. No, I don't pay to work somewhere. You pay me. I don't pay you. Which I've been pretty obsessed with the trials and stuff, the court case of the Titan sub. I said to my sweetheart, I said, so they paid $300,000 each for the privilege of getting unalived. And when I watch, I can't sit there for 8 hours and watch every single day of the trial. They do have it on YouTube. And I will see certain things, like there was a young lady who worked in an office, and she did these, she put these numbers together, and she had to she was not an engineer, I don't believe, and she did not have a underwater license or whatever, but she had to bring up certain things to management if there was a worry. And this is before the, disaster, of course. And she was told to shut up or stay in her place or some kind of crap. And I think they fired her, or they made it so bad that she quit. Also, a couple other guys who were very, very up on the knowledge of going, under the sea in a capsule. They worked for companies in the past, or, where you really have to take every little precaution and have a safety check. But the owner said, no, 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 no. Part of the fun is the danger or some kind of crap. And they interviewed another man who was going to go on with his son, and they backed out. And that's how the other man and his 19-year-old son went on there. I mean, these stories disgust me. And it is kind of a scam, because he tells the public, oh, no, they signed, things saying that they know it can be deadly and all that. But he probably made it sound a little more rosy than it actually was. Now, I don't wish death on anybody, okay? Well, there were a few people in history, Hitler, Bin Laden, a couple idiots like that. But I didn't wish death on this guy, and I kind of feel bad that his wife was on the actual, she wasn't in the capsule, she was on the boat that towed them to their spot where they went underwater. And somebody said that she had an attitude. If you want to go and do something daring and risk your own life, that's one thing. But don't skip the safety checks, that you need an independent safety check from another company or government agency. Skip that and say, no, 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 I know what I'm doing. A spoiled rich kid grew up with money, never really had to struggle to get it. And then he builds his latest toy and insists he knows exactly what he's doing, and let's leave a little bit of the danger element in there because it's fun. It's sickening. I must have heard 4 or 5 other engineers who got fired, actually, because they brought up red flags, OceanGate, and it's just really sickening. And some of them that went on a practice dive underwater, and they heard little noises and stuff like that, and that wasn't even that far down. They just, and some of these people were in better equipped subs, we'll call them mini subs, in the past, with other companies and made it all the way down to the Titanic and back. So for this man to expect this thing to go to the Titanic with 5 paying customers, okay, he should have paid them, not them pay him. That's ridiculous. Um, and the price kept going up. It started out as 100,000 each. Then by the time they went, it was like 300 something thousand each. That's disgusting. I guess what are they going to do now? Go after the other people in his company, his wife? I don't think they're doing the trials on weekends, but you can watch every single one um, on there. Noah, I believe it's Noah channel, or I could be wrong, but just type in on the Google search, on the YouTube search, um, you know, trials for the Ocean Gate Titan disaster, and you'll see a bunch of them. Some of them are just creators given kind of a summary, and some of them just show the actual trial itself. And I'd say about every hour they take like a brief break, and then the screen is just still. That's a deadly scam. I'm sorry. That is a scam. Speaking of scams, I know I said a couple of months ago, I believe, that in addition to house workers or construction workers being lured to Middle Eastern countries from poorer African and maybe Asian countries, and then treated like crap, and some of them even losing their life. And the beautiful young lady from Africa who was totally burned, and she's healing luckily, and she's more beautiful than that witch that did this to her would ever be. Now, in addition to that, I had mentioned it briefly in an old video that it's a very big business now. Human trafficking to make people scam. They're not just doing it to people in developing countries. No, they're doing it now to people who actually, went to college and got a very white collar degree. And they get there, and it's really horrible. And other countries now are reporting it a lot more. And it's more common than we may think it is, because, you think you're going to Thailand. I know I just recently mentioned this, but it's getting bigger and bigger and more horrible. Imagine somebody threatening you while you're trying to scam somebody, a pig butchering scheme or whatever, romance scam, a lot of names for it. It's just, who the hell can you trust anymore? When I go in stores now, I always talk to the person at the front desk and say, why do you have gift cards out in the open where anybody can get them? And I kind of explain what happened. People do it, and we've even seen the tape they can put back over the mark that they scratched out. I mean, my idea is that once somebody purchases it and pays for it, they should get a password that only they will know, even one they can make up. And that way, if the scammer goes to try to use the scratch off number and say, oh, somebody paid for the card by now, they won't be able to use it. I mean, that's a good idea, huh? I guess I can. If anybody else takes that idea, I get the credit for it. I really think that would help a lot. I mean, they think they're doing a favor by saying, please be careful who you give gift cards to. Oh, yeah, that's going to stop the whole problem, right? Bull crap. I've also heard some more stories about, and this has been going on for years, somebody advertising a puppy, and when you send the money, you don't get the puppy. It was just a scam. And even more upsetting is when people in, your local Facebook group or your local next door group, somebody says that a puppy is missing or their dog is missing. And a lot of people say, okay, well, we'll keep an eye out, whatever. And a lot of times, luckily, they do get their pet back. But you're always going to get some little dirtbag that calls up and says, I have your dog, but I'll need a fee to get your dog back. That's disgusting. And I really don't think that they have the dog. They just want the money. On Facebook a little while ago, actually a couple years ago, so I'm trying to get comfortable, there was a thing that said, we clean out your ductwork for a good price. Now, we just got a new HVAC, heating and air conditioning, in one central through the house because the other one went kaput. And I was talking to the man who was installing it. He says, don't trust them. I said, oh, I don't. I told them what happened. Somebody was saying, I can do it for a really good price. He was saying he's going to actually go in and get all the stuff in between those ducts. That's not safe, first of all. And once you have a good system going with the air intake in and out and the filters being changed regularly, a lot of times, unless there's a blockage somewhere, the air it'll be clean after a while. It's very risky. So I said, yeah, that sounds interesting. This is a couple of years ago before my AC and heat broke. I said, that sounds kind of interesting. And then a few weeks later, when I first moved in here, I was alone and I was barely hanging on by a string, money-wise. And the guy says, well, you going to have it done soon? I said, well, right now I'm kind of broke. He writes back, what mean broke? Well, I guess this isn't a man from my neighborhood. These jerks actually expect you to pay them ahead of time, and then you get a real good deal. You never see any work. The money's gone. I mean, it's really disgraceful. This time of year, us old folks, at least in the U.S., we get calls from people saying they're from Medicare. And I say, oh yeah, you're from Medicare? How do you know me? Oh, you're on our list. I said, I'm already on Medicare. What's your Social Security? I said, you should have it if you called me. Well, we need you to confirm it for us. I said, no, you don't. Usually, and I'm not against foreign people, but I'm saying this person has a foreign accent. There's a baby crying in the background. They're probably, calling from home. I'm like, get out of here. And I hang up. And it happens a lot. You'll also get the idiots who, by the way, Part C, this might not apply to everybody, but Medicare Part C, which is a Medicare Advantage plan, that is actually a for-profit company. You have to, I know all the surgeries I've had through Medicare, they, never a problem. Maybe they'd ask for some piece of documentation, but if you're using Part C, they look at that as your primary insurance, and they actually make people wait to get approved, and sometimes they don't approve it. So what's the sense of having Medicare if you're going to have that Part C? If any salesman calls you, even if it's a legit salesman, and tries to call you and get you to switch over to their company, don't do it. Call Medicare themselves, the actual Medicare, 1-800-Medicare, and ask them what is the pros and cons. You'll get a more honest answer from them. What are the pros and cons of having, just straight Medicare versus Medicare Advantage plan? Okay, because that could be a real scam. A lot of people have been screwed over from it. Some people might benefit from it. It really depends on the person, which is why you should call Medicare themselves. Anybody that calls you and said, this is Medicare, they are full of crap. Nobody's going to call and say, this is Medicare. They normally do not call you unless you called them and they're calling you back. Anybody can spoof their phone number on your caller ID to make it look like they're calling from a certain place, and they're not. I'm just going over some real old scams that, even if we got on board with the latest ones, the old ones are always going to be there. I hardly go on Instagram anymore. I just don't have time. But I always get a couple of clowns on there writing, and I just laugh it off. But on Facebook, that's where I keep in touch with, family and friends and stuff. They actually use the standard handsome guy face, and they give me a friend's request. And I have to get a laugh. So I look through their profile. They have a couple other ladies as friends, people they suck at, I guess. And they're from, M Doctor, M Medical Doctor. That's really good English. Yeah, I believe you. You're a catch, buddy. Stupid stuff like that. And they just opened their account 3 days ago. Wow. I thought that you were more tech savvy and would have gotten around by now. And I've had more than one, two different names, more than one guy using the same fake picture. I mean, it is pretty hilarious. On a good note, I don't usually like to mention other channels, but this is a good thing. Social Catfish now they are going further into nailing some of these people. They have some more technology. I know a lot of people were against it because you have to pay for them to search. But I say I'd rather pay $20 now than have thousands of dollars of my life savings taken away. Some people have lost their house. Okay, another thing to be wary of. Oh, wait. Those guys out, Art and Ash, I can't think of them. Trilogy Media, they team up with Social Catfish and they go after the guys. It's pretty hilarious. But another thing you have to be careful of is when somebody is actually the go-between. They launder the money, I guess you can say. They could be victims too. So you really do have to get professionals involved. Never go up to somebody and directly confront them. That could be very dangerous. Also, if you're going to scam bait, never use your own number. Use a VPN. There are so many now that I'm not aware of. Go on a good tech site on Google or whatever that you trust, not ABC Schmuck Incorporated. And they will tell you the ones that are the most, NordVPN, I know, is one of them. They will tell you the ones that are the most trustworthy because every day a new VPN company comes along and they're crap. You really have to find out what PC World maybe, companies like that, and make sure they're really PC World. And I know I have to give you the age-old advice. Never click a link in an email. Never call the number in an email. But if you're going to use a VPN, go straight to the big guys. Like I said, PC World or anybody like that you can trust. Because there's a lot of people out there trying to fool us all. And by the way, I have people knocking on my door now, young guys saying, do you need a, what do you call it, buggy service? I can't even talk straight today. Extermination service. I said, no, I'm good. What do you use? Who do you use? It's none of their damn business. So I just repeat, I'm good, thank you. A little trick I use, though. I've been using a lot of those natural sprays, and it really seems to help. And it doesn't hurt pets or little kids or anything, so that's good. I still wipe the area afterwards. But one thing that really works is you sprinkle cinnamon or cloves, the spice cloves. Cinnamon works even better. Anywhere that they might try to enter the house, or I sprinkle it in my coffee so I don't have one swimming around in it. Because in the South, gnats are very, very hard to get rid of. A lot of times they come from your sink, so I even pour that and some salt down my sink. And I have a garbage disposal, so I always make sure that's clean. You don't need some guy spraying poison in your yard. I mean, unless that doesn't bother you. Another thing I will not do is have a professional lawn service because they spray all that horrible stuff. And there's a guy that comes and mows my front lawn, and I told him, no, I don't want any poison sprayed in my front yard. My dogs go out there, and I still don't want it messing up the atmosphere. I will actually take vinegar and pour it down there, or the grass cuttings, throw it on top of that because there's nothing growing in there behind my little fence in front of the front windows. And it seems to be working quite well. And when the leaves start falling, I'm going to put them there too, and then maybe cover it with more mulch or whatever. And mulch keeps bugs away too. Be careful about what kind of things people want to spray. And last but not least, when you say, watch this video, your fat will melt away like crazy. You can do it right now with stuff in your home. No, you can't. This guy has you watch a 40-minute thing. He says, aren't you tired of those companies that really want to rob you blind and they're just selling some more snake oil? We got the real solution. Guess what? They're selling snake oil too. And I went on Amazon where they're selling it also. You go straight to the company and they're only going to put the rave reviews. Oh, and I lost 10 pounds in a week already. I look great. You go on Amazon, you're going to get some honest people telling the truth about it. Maybe, not too bad. I lost a little bit. It's not a miracle. They're showing Kelly Clarkson and that lady from Shark Tank. They're doing like a scammer would do now. Make it sound like them. I lost all this weight through this. Kelly Clarkson, Shark Tank, and even Oprah have said, no, I have nothing to do with that. And these companies, may do it for a while, and then when they get caught, they might try some other trick or change the name of their company. Fly-by-night operations. If you want to see if apple cider vinegar gummies really work, drink some apple cider vinegar. It's like $1 for a little bottle. And lower your carbs and eat more protein. You don't need a little capsule to do that crap. It's like really annoying, and you can't trust anything you watch on TV. I did download another game app, and without, clearing it with this company, I'm not going to say who it was. It's slightly better than the one I've been using, and it does pay you like $1 or $2 every day. Better than waiting like more than a week for $10. So that's it for now. I've got some pretty creepy stories from people who have traveled out of town to meet their love on the other side of the computer screen, and it really is that person. But it did not end well for the person that traveled there, and it's pretty sad. And I'm gonna give you a couple of examples in my next video. I just want to let you guys know it's cooler now. I can move around a little better. I love you guys very much. And let's hope that we all take care of each other and love each other. Even if we have different opinions on things, there is a respectable way to say it. We don't have to be so rude to each other. We can love one another. It's sad because you're taught to trust people. The truth is, unless you really know somebody, you can't trust anybody. Sometimes you can't even trust who you know very well. That's pretty sad. And somebody will take religion and go, the Lord said to whatever, be good to whoever. I say the Lord said, protect thyself, for you are my child. I made that up. I don't think it's in the Bible, but you get my drift, right? I will see you next time, my loves. Any suggestions you have or any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Love you all. Bye-bye.